In this video, we'll be testing the Goal Zero Lighthouse Micro Flash for its lumen output, light modes, runtime, beam distance, features, waterproofing, and more. I bought the Micro Flash direct from Goal Zero, and out of the box, this is what I got, just the lantern flashlight itself and the packaging. This comes in demo mode, so when you hit the power button, it'll cycle between flashlight and lantern automatically, as you can see here. To take it out of demo mode, just plug it into like any USB port. You can do so by using the built-in USB input at the bottom of the Micro Flash. Charging will typically take about 3.5 hours according to the official specs. This timing is based on a 5V 1A input, as I found on the official website. Based on this, my charge time came in at just slightly over 3.5 hours, which is quite accurate. The battery indicator lights will blink from 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, and when all 4 lights are solid, that means that this is fully charged. Speaking of the indicator lights, this gives you a rough gauge as to how much battery you have left at any time. Are these lights accurate? Here are my rough test results. Basically, ideally, each light should be about 25%, but it's not very accurate at all. Most of the battery runs down within the first light, and by the time you get down to your last indicator light, you will be on critically low battery, so just keep this in mind when you're using it. The Micro Flash has only one power button controlling all the light modes, and here's how it works. Pressing the power button once will cycle first to the brightest flashlight mode. Pressing it again will bring you to the brightest full lantern mode where all 4 LEDs are lighted up. The last mode will then be the brightest half lantern mode where only 2 of the LEDs are lighted. Pressing the button again will turn the entire thing off, and that's how you cycle through the different modes. Now, if you want to dim the lights, just get into any mode, then press and hold the button. The lights will dim, and when it blinks, that means that this is now in the dimmest setting. Now, what are the runtimes for all the modes? The longest runtime is apparently 170 hours. But if you go to the official website, you get even more info. The low modes come in at between 80 to 170 hours, while the high modes come in at between 7 to 15 hours. Now, compared to the official specs that we just saw, which is everything in this column, here's how my tested results compare. On all of the brightest modes, the official specs were pretty accurate, give or take only about an hour or so for each of the modes. But the really great thing here is that I got much longer runtimes on the low modes. For the flashlight, I got 3 times more runtime. For the full lantern, I got 3.5 times more runtime. And for the half lantern, I got double the runtime. The cell capacity is in the highest at about 2,600 mAh, so I was pretty blown away by all the low brightness runtimes. That's been the lantern's lumen output that comes in at a max of 150 lumens. But again, if you head to the website, you can find even more info there. I'll test the lumen count based on a full battery because as the battery level drops, the lumens also tend to drop by quite a bit. Now, here are all my testing results. Basically, the full lantern is about 40% brighter than the half lantern, even if both are on the brightest settings, and both the low modes are basically very dim night lights. As for the flashlight output, that comes in at about 120 lumens on high. As for the dimmest setting, that's just 20 lumens. To test this, I used a very rough ceiling bounce test to estimate the number of lumens. Now, here are all the results that I got. The brightest setting was a little lower than expected, coming in at 100 lumens compared to 120. The dimmest setting didn't register a reading on the light meter, so I just kept decreasing the distance until a reading showed up, and that reading was still basically 0 lumens. As for the lantern's shine distance, this distance here is exactly what I measured. I did this using the same lux meter in the lumens test and backed away from it until it hit a 0 lumen reading. Then I did the same thing for the low mode as well. And here are all my results. There were no official specs here, but my results were 4.1 feet on the high and less than 1 foot on low. And here's how the dimmest mode compares to the brightest mode. As for the flashlight distance, I used the same testing method again with the same lux meter. Now here are my tested results in table form for both the brightest and the dimmest modes. The micro flash comes with a hook on top, which can be clipped to either side. It's not removable though, so it's only for the open lantern loops, like the one that you see here. For closed lantern loops, you'd need a separate lightweight carabiner. The IP rating on the micro flash is IPX6. This means that it can take heavy rain and even up to water jet. So I tested this under 25 minutes of heavy rain. After the heavy rain, all the modes still work perfectly fine. And the USB at the bottom was wet, but after I dried everything out, everything still worked great. You can also drop it from hand height and it'll hold up perfectly fine as well, with all the modes still working and not even a single scrape on the micro flash at all. As for warranty, it says 5 years at the top of the sales page and 2 years down below. But since only a few selected products have the 5-year warranty, the rest of them fall under the 2-year warranty, which is where the micro flash falls under as well. As for material quality, this is made almost entirely of plastic, but it feels quite high grade and quite beefy. As for light quality, I do wish that the plastic covering was a little bit more frosted. Right now you can see the LED bulbs through the plastic. It can be quite blinding on the brightest mode. The flashlight temperature comes in at 3000 Kelvin, while the lantern temperature comes in at 3800 Kelvin, and I really like the warmth of both the lights. They're quite easy on the eyes. Some additional info, there's simultaneous recharge and discharge so you can use it even when charging. And this micro flash is designed in the USA but made in China. For portability, I first measured the weight of the micro flash, and that came in at about 2.75 ounces. As for the pack size, the dimensions come in at 3 3/4 inches for the length and about 1.5 inches across the top. For pros, I really like the design of the micro flash. It's not only compact, it's also pretty lightweight, and there's no need for extra cables. This also has really impressive runtimes on the low brightness, and here's a quick summary of all the max runtimes for each mode. On these low brightness modes, the number of lumens is 0, but still, I noticed that it was enough for reading and lounging about. And the micro flash is also pretty feature rich, complete with not just the 2-in-1 flashlight and lantern functions, but also indicator lights, completely adjustable brightness settings, and even a half lantern feature for conserving battery. Just bear in mind that the half lantern feature doesn't exactly double your runtime, it only increases it by 20%. If this video has been helpful so far, please help me hit that like button. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. One feature the micro flash doesn't have though is a memory setting, and the default mode is the brightest mode, which is quite blinding, especially if you're using the dim full lantern mode. Because when you want to turn it off, it'll cycle first to the brightest half lantern before it turns off. Another con is that the top button is quite small and almost flush with the surface, and the charging USB is also a bit short. So if your USB port is deeper set, this wouldn't be able to charge, so I had to use another plug to get this to charge. But otherwise, I think the pros are relatively small compared to the cons, as you can see here on the screen. So if you need a 2-in-1 flashlight and lantern, which is also lightweight at the same time, this is one of the best ones out there. I know this because I tested the micro flash against 6 other 2-in-1 lantern flashlights in this video on the screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in that one.